We're here at Rainworth Miners Welfare, where Heanor have just won 4-1 in the FA Vase first qualifying round. With me, I've got manager Glenn Clarence and assistant managers Steve Huntington and Steve Hamilton. Glenn, I think if we'd have put a scoreline down at the start of the day of 4-1 into the next round, would have been happy. Were you happy with the performance and the execution of what you told the boys to do today?
Yeah, we'd have took any win, Tony. Just next round at FA Vase, that's the most important thing. But I'm disappointed to concede, if I'm honest. And I think we could have had a few more goals if we wanted to. We've used the squad, which we spoke about a lot before the game. We're getting a good squad together now, and we're trusting players, and that's what we need to do. But yeah, the lads on fire up front. Benger's on fire, setting him up. The lads out wide are now linking up and doing well. We're getting there. We're not far off. But again, we're setting standards, and to concede was disappointing. But obviously, the most important thing in the FA Vase is to win, regardless of the scoreline. I don't think the scoreline flattered us. Could have had a few more, if I'm honest. And yeah, good day at the office.
Okay, Steve, I actually saw you smiling towards the end of the game. I know we've had chance after chance after chance throughout the game. Was there anything in there that we still need to work on, maybe? I know we've got a lot of positives out of today's game. Let's go the other way and just the things that we need to be tweaking still.
Of course there is, Tony. There's always things to work on, even if you go and win 20 games on the bounce, you still got things to work on. And I smile a lot, actually, recently. I think I've been smiling all season. I'm trying to keep these two calm in the dugout and making sure that we keep our discipline and what have you. Today's a good result. I think the result was better than the performance. I think we played better on Tuesday night, to be honest, in many ways. It's difficult. I think when we've gone 2-0 up, you don't want to be disrespectful and come across as that, and I'm not meaning to come across as that, but it was at times a little bit too easy for us in certain aspects of the game. That they're obviously struggling a little bit, and we've perhaps not done things clinically as well as what we could do, and kept it simple. We've kind of eased off, and the game's got a little bit scrappy. But when we've had our chances, we've took them, which was nice. Very disappointed to concede a goal. We shouldn't concede a goal, but that's what happens when you do get a bit sloppy. Loads to work on, but it's nice to get in the next round of the cup on the back of a good win Tuesday night, and we go again next couple of weeks. We've got again some tough fixtures that we've got to grind results out.
Excellent.
Goal here. Yes. That's a good down score, isn't it? Yeah. That unruly club's here this week. Unruly crowd. Ooh, yeah, missed them all, mate. And he's looking as lively as usual. Good play. It's about being a late, isn't it? Well, he's shot, that's it. He's shot, you can't get to run away, you need to be in there, don't you?
Excellent. Just on that note, I know you've mentioned discipline. Am I right in thinking that you're the only one in the three-man management team that's not yet been dismissed from the dugout?
That is technically correct, Tony, but to be fair to these two, I think both decisions on them were outrageous. I can't comment any further than that, otherwise I'll probably get a ban for talking on a podcast, which it seems mad. Listen, again today we're frustrated. We've tried to do certain things with officials. We're talking to lots of different people in the game at higher levels of the game about what standard of football we play at and what standard the officials are at, and they're trying their best, but sometimes it's like anything in life. you don't put a junior sales rep in charge of in a managing director's role in any business, do you? So, you know, when you're playing at a certain level of football, if you've got people in charge that perhaps, you know, aren't qualified to be in that position, you could have problems. But you know, I don't think they deserve to get to have got their sentence off this season. We try and do things in the right way, but you get frustrated with things. But let's concentrate on the football. Another good win. Let's stick to that, really.
Okay, Steve, just looking at players' performances today, the lads that have played, even the lads that have come off in 60, 70 minutes, they've given everything that they can, I think. They certainly ran every blade of the pitch. You've got, obviously, Don Wilkinson, last 10 minutes, playing on one leg and still trying to be involved in everything that's going. We've also seen that celebration afterwards that we seem to be seeing a lot lately. There's a good bond in there. Are the players playing for each other as well as playing for you guys at the minute?
Well, that's another thing I think starting to come together. People are trusting each other, and yeah, all the lads, everybody's done well today. So, you know, Heanor's getting more goals, like you say. These things take a time to build. You know, this togetherness. It doesn't just happen. And as soon as it does happen, and you start building momentum, it can soon, you know, fall back. It's in the last couple of weeks we've had one or two conversations that are positive conversations in the dressing room, but about how consistent we've been, and you know, losing games and so forth. So you know as well as me, Tony, that these things are very fragile, but I do agree with you that there are partnerships. Senior players are stepping up against Coleshill the other night. Everybody stepped up, all the senior lads. They were all 8, 9 out of 10s, and that's what you need, because Coleshill were a decent side, and the same again today. Senior players have stepped up to the mark, but also you've got young lads contributing. You know, now the test for them is that just getting a level of consistency. And we all know we've got something here, but it's just fragile, and sometimes it can go one way or another. And at this moment in time, we are gaining a little bit of momentum. We're not getting carried away. We've not won anything yet, but we're getting something. If we keep moving in that direction, then we'll be a force for anybody, as long as we get that consistency.
Brilliant. Okay, and Glenn, I know we've got a big week coming up again. We've got Brockton at home on Wednesday, and if I'm right, Lytown away next Saturday. Hopefully they won't be singing Macho Man at the end of that. It's, big week, 2 big games coming up. Obviously we've got to go to Lye, where I don't think that result was fair last season at all. Is it a matter of we need to keep building, as Steve said, but also we need to just make sure them points are on the board, keep us moving?
And it came back
We'll speak about Lye on Wednesday night.
It's
about Brockton. And as we know, and we fell foul of last season, inconsistency plus this league, as we've said, is not a poor league. It's a good league because the bottom of the league can beat the bottom. Sorry, they can't beat the bottom because they are the bottom. Bottom of the league can beat the top of the league. It's a good league, and we need to be on our mettle, and this is what we're trying to get through to them. And you beat Coleshill, you get 3 points. You beat Brockton, you get 3 points. Now, this is what we've got to get. We've got to get the good habits in our game, that we play the same way, whether we are playing Man United or Losca. That's the way we need to be, because that's what we're creating. And for those daft enough to look at a league table or think about form or whatever else after 5 or 6 games, that's exactly what you are, daft. We've had a decent run in the FA Cup. We've had the FA Vase today, and we sit about 15th in the league. But if we win our game in hand against Brockton, we shoot right up there. And I might be wrong, but we're not far off. Might be above, might be below, might be level with the likes of Coleshill, Alvechurch, Sporting Calcer, the favourites for this league at the start of the season. All good sides. And we've had one of the toughest starts. Now, if you were to say to me that we would be 4th or 5th and level with all those after the fixtures we had at the start of the season, I would have took it. But we need to take, and again, this is why you get frustrated that you have the FA Vase today. Of course we want to play in the FA Vase, of course we want to go as far as we can, but that's down to us as a group to carry this on in the league, in the bread and butter, against Brockton, not mentioning Lytown, against Brockton. Because if we go and do what we've done today, and against Coleshill and against Brockton, we will beat Brockton. In the past we haven't always done that. But I'd like to bet with anyone that won't be the case, because we're creating that. And long may it continue.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, guys. On to Wednesday.
It's good. very comfortable in the end, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they never really looked like going back into it, have they? Even when they scored.
Good win.